Cool, what I'll show you here is how to recondition these old suntour forks. Pretty straightforward job. I guess the only thing you really need to worry about is making sure it all goes back together perfectly. Normally what happens with these old forks is they get a bit of water down here in the bottom of the tube and they can't really drain. So what we'll do is we'll get all the water out, clean out all the mud. I've even got some new seals that I might put on them. Grease the whole system up and chuck it back in and it should be as good as new. Yeah, let's get into it. First bit we'll do is just take off the wheel. Next you got to take out the brakes, and I'll show you how to put them back on at the end. I'm only doing this because we'll have to take off the whole bottom section of the fork. Cool trick for this is that I've got a little bolt just to keep, we'll put it back on the end of this so that we keep everything together. You'll notice that the brake line assembly is quite complicated. I guess, well, it's not complicated, but it's just complicated to get it back together. So I just take a couple of nuts and just chuck them on the bottom so that it all stays together, you don't lose any nuts. There's normally a little clip just up here. Just loosen it. I don't undo the clip all the way. Take out the brake line. Yeah, now that it's all kind of the bottom section of the shock's all freed up from everything, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these little, loosen these little nuts. You should see a lot of water come out of them. Before you loosen the little nut, however, make sure that the lockout is locked. That just means that your shocks aren't moving. Quite difficult in that state. They're unlocked and they're free to move. If you lock it up, what that means is going to keep the bottom bolt where it should be when you finally come to put it back together. Now what you can do is you can normally just give them a little tap like this big hammer. Just lightly tap on the bolts. Roll it up. Now it's not an essential step, but I have some new seals, so you'll know that these are, what's happening is they're starting to wear out from all the use, and then that's what's letting the water come down and sit in the mud, which eventually just ruins your springs and stops everything from happening. So it's not essential. You can just find these on eBay, and your bike shops might have them. If they don't, they can order it in for you. But what I'll do is I'll just pop them out gently. Now, once it's out, I can just pop in the new one. Once I've cleaned everything up. Once I've got them out, give everything a good clean. Some good degreaser. Very liberally get rid of all the dirt and gunk and clean them as best you can. It's quite difficult to clean these tubes. I normally get in there with a bottle brush. If they're older forks, I'll just shoot them with high pressure hose. Get all the much as you can out. Not too much more you can do than that. As long as you just get, normally there'll be a big pile of mud sitting in the bottom. You just need to flush that out as best you can. There is a bit of corrosion on there. I've I've tried everything to kind of get rid of that, but the best we can do here is just make sure that they can move as freely as they need be. Once these are nice and clean and there's a bit of grease on these poles and new seals, she'll be working like a bomb. And we'll pop the new seals in. They sit nice and make sure they sit nice and flush. Beautiful. Bit of CRC. I just put one little smatter of grease on them. It's just more of a water repellent than a lubricant. Might be the biking mechanics screaming out in the comments on this now, but you know, we've had rental bikes for 4 years now, and this just gives it a few more months of life. When you put the thing back on, it squeezes all of them off. It just yeah, like I said, just keeps it as a water deterrent more than anything. I don't put it on these two pieces, just on the top bit. You'll see as we squeeze it back on, it'll push all the grease off and just have a thin layer so it keeps water off. Yeah, you'll see that because we locked out the top, this should locate really nicely. If you haven't locked, if you forgot, you'll have a bit of a mission getting this bolt back on. But if you did forget, what you do is you take them off, move it down to where the 2 points, because one won't move, keep the 2 points together and then lock it, and then you can push it back up. What I'll do is I'll just wipe off all that excess grease that we talked about. It should just all be sitting on the seal there. If you leave it there, you're going to get mud clamping on it. So just wipe it out as best you can. Gotta put the brakes back on. When I first put them back on, I'm just going to loosely put them on, because real nice trick to kind of get them realigned on the disc. But you do that once the disc is on. Cool. So the wheel's back on. Like I said, I just loosely put the brake caliper. I didn't tighten it up all the way, specifically so that I can realign the brake caliper with its disc. You want to kind of loose so it's just moving. So spin the wheel. Stop brake. Just tighten it up on the disc. That way you know that the disc and the disc brake nicely aligned. Cool, yeah, that's it. Thumbs up, subscribe, see you later.